What is up, guys? John Anthony from masculinedevelopment.com, and today we're going to be talking about why women test men. But before I begin, please subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out on any of the red pill, no bullshit, non-mainstream advice that I put out on a regular basis. And with that in mind, let's get to it. So if you take a look around, you're gonna see a lot of videos that are titled like 5 reasons women test men, or 7 ways that women test you, or something like that. And while those are all good and well, women really only test men for one reason and one reason only. And that's to know if you're full of shit. Women want a man who is confident. They want a man who isn't set back by minor things in life. They want a man who's grounded, who's high status, who's centered, who's congruent. They want an alpha male who is on his purpose and who is going to accomplish whatever he wants to accomplish. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, because men can fake those things easily, women need to know if they're real. Take, for example, a common shit test. Men walk up to a girl in a nightclub and he acts confident, right? But maybe she's a little bit rude to him, maybe she kind of ignores him, and he immediately gets set off. You bitch, why are you ignoring me? Meh, meh, meh. He throws a fucking temper tantrum like he's 3 years old, right? What does that communicate? Well, it communicates that he was trying to fake the fact that he was truly confident. If he was truly confident, he wouldn't have been annoyed by her slight rejection, right? No truly confident man is going to be annoyed that some girl he barely even knows rejects him. And that's fundamentally why women test men. They need to know if you're actually who you're acting like you are, right? Another example of this is, say that a woman is approached by a man at a nightclub, and again, say that she's a little bit rude, right? Maybe she kind of ignores him or blows him off, right? Well, if the man throws a temper tantrum, he's obviously faking the fact that he's confident. But if he doesn't get upset, he understands, okay, maybe she's having a bad night, maybe she's testing me, maybe she's, just in a bad mood, whatever it is. And he just, either keeps talking and keeps having a good time, or just says, oh, sorry to bother you, nice to meet you, and just walks away. What does that communicate? That communicates that he's truly confident and he passed the test. The more that you begin to understand that women really test men for one reason and one reason only, and that's to know if we're full of shit. The more that you understand that, the more that women will make sense. So to help this concept really sink into your brain, I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can pass shit tests, and then I'm going to give you 4 reasons why women test men. And as I'm explaining these things, I'm going to give you specific examples so that you know exactly why that man was tested in that example, and you can look at it in your own life, and more importantly, so that you know how to pass different shit tests. So there's basically 3 ways to pass a shit test, and understand that depending on the situation and the shit test, a different response might be warranted. And this will make more sense as I go on, but for now understand that it's not the same to use any of these methods for any shit test. Ideally, for every shit test, there's an ideal method to use. And so with that in mind, the first way to pass a shit test is to simply ignore it. This works best for shit tests that are typically from girls you just met that you don't know that well. Just little things like maybe she's rude to you, she ignores you, whatever it is. The best way to pass this shit test is just to ignore it, right? So when I say ignore the shit test, basically what I mean is ignore it on every fucking level of your being. So not only do you ignore it in the conversation, or maybe you acknowledge it briefly, but in passing, and then you just switch the topic, but you also ignore it emotionally, and that's the main thing to take away. Don't even let her shit test get to you, because what this communicates to a woman is that you're not going to let the shit of the universe affect you. In many ways, women are the embodiment of nature, right? So if you can pass a girl's shit tests, then the shit tests that life throws at you, you'll be able to pass those as well, right? So a lot of the reasons why women test men is because they're not aware of this, of course. It's all unconscious, biological-based behavior, but they're testing to see if you're a man who can succeed. Because if you can't even pass her shit test, if a girl is rude to you and you can't even get over that and not be affected by it, how in the fuck are you supposed to keep her safe in an uncertain and rapidly changing world? The answer is that you can't. So women test you to see if you're a true man on his purpose, to see if you're actually as confident as you're acting, and to know that they can trust who you are. The second way to pass a shit test is to agree and amplify. Now, this works best for verbal shit tests, and here's what I mean by this. So there's different types of shit tests. There's verbal, nonverbal, congruence. There's all kinds of different shit tests, and that's a little bit beyond the scope of this video. It'll make more sense as I go on, but one of my favorite methods is to agree and amplify. So here's an example, right? I'm 5'8", so sometimes I get girls, giving me shit tests about my height, right? They'll say, you're short or something, right? And so, again, agree, right? So agree that I'm short and amplify it to the point of insanity, right? So, she says, you're short. And I say, yeah, I'm a fucking leprechaun. Are you a gold digger? Because I got a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, bitch, right? So that came off a little aggressive, but something stupid and just like random that shows her that you don't care, right? That's the goal, is agree and amplify, right? Maybe a girl gives you shit that you like drive a Prius or something, right? So agree that it's a Prius, that you drive a Prius, and then amplify. Yeah, I fucking pull all the bitches with my Prius. I roll down the fucking windows and girls hop in, right? Whatever it is, just act confident about it, agree and amplify. Now, the third way to pass a shit test is to agree and reframe. This is basically very similar to the second way to pass a shit test, agree and amplify, in that they're both best for verbal shit tests, and they both work very well with girls that you just met, right? Now, the difference is that rather than amplifying the shit test and agreeing and amplifying, you're going to agree but reframe. So in the last example, it was you're short, and then you say, yeah, I'm a leprechaun, right? Agree and amplify to the point of insanity. In this method, it's you're short, and then you say, yeah, it makes me more attainable. Right? So you still agree, you say yeah, but you reframe. It's not I'm short, therefore I'm unattractive. It's I'm short, which is good because I'm so fucking attractive as I am that if I was tall, I'd be way out of your league, right? So agree and reframe, right? Another example might be, maybe a girl says you have moves, right? You have moves, right? You have boobs. I get that sometimes because I'm pretty jacked and I got pecs, right? So say yeah. They help me get in touch with my feminine side, right? Again, agree. Yeah, I got boobs, I got pecs, whatever. Reframe, right? It's not, oh, it's unattractive. It's, yeah, helps me get in touch with my feminine side, right? It's a good thing, right? And when you say that shit, she'll crack up if you say it the right way because, again, it communicates you don't give a fuck, right? You're comfortable with who you are and you're okay making a joke about it. So now that I've discussed how to pass shit tests, let me give you 4 different reasons and examples of why women might test men. The first example is to see if you're confident. This is like the example that I gave earlier on where, when you walk up to a girl, if she's rude to you, she's probably just giving you a shit test. Now, she could just be rude. She could just want you to leave. But funny enough, even if she is rude and wants you to leave, by leaving and not being affected, you'll pass it. And this has happened to me many times when I go out where I'll go up to a girl and she's rude. And, or maybe she's just not receptive, right? She just doesn't seem that into me. After a minute or two, I'll just get bored and say, hey, it was nice meeting you, and I'll just walk away, right? No harm, no foul, no tough feelings. And then I'll catch her looking at me all throughout the fucking night. And the reason why is because she saw that I wasn't fazed by their quote unquote rejection, right? So that's an example of why women might test men to see if you're confident, right? Because again, they want a man who's confident. And whether or not a woman even realizes it, she's going to unconsciously test you to see if you're confident. The second reason why women might test men is to see if they'll get jealous or needy. So this oftentimes comes up, it sometimes comes up when you first meet a girl if you're at a nightclub, but oftentimes it's just when you've been seeing a girl for a while, right? So an example of this might be you're at a nightclub and I've had girls straight up leave and just go make out with another guy in front of me. And I think it's kind of gross, honestly, that she would just bounce from one guy to the next like that. But she's testing to see if I'm going to run after her and be like, oh, wait, don't leave me, right? Like that kind of shit, right? Don't do that, okay? If you're truly a man who's confident, you know that you can find another girl when you're out at a nightclub, right? You don't need that one girl. Don't get stuck in scarcity. Another example might be, and this is a more common example, might be you've been dating her for a while and she stops texting you. She stops returning your calls. She kind of gives you the cold shoulder, right? A lot of guys don't understand this. And to be honest, a lot of women probably don't either because they're not consciously thinking, I'm going to test him. They're just doing what they're feeling. And so the way to pass the shit test is to just say, hey, I know you're busy, but why don't you get back to me when you're free, right? That's it. Just leave it at that. Don't be fazed by it. Don't say, hey, why can't you fucking text me back? Why can't, it only takes 2 minutes to answer your phone. Why can't you da-da-da, right? If you ever interact with successful men, which you should be doing, I do on a regular basis, you'll find that they don't get salty when you don't text them back because they know you're busy and you have your own life, right? What they'll do, typically, high value men, is if I don't text them back for a week or something, they'll probably figure, oh, we just forgot. And so they'll just send another text and, they'll say something like, hey man, just wanted to know what you think about this, right? Or they'll change the subject entirely and, provide value. They'll say, hey man, I met this guy out and he's in the health and fitness industry. Do you want me to connect you to, right? And then, I'll see and I'll think, oh, I forgot to respond, fuck. And then I'll say, oh yeah, by the way, sorry, I forgot to respond. I got busy with recording videos or whatever, right? So successful people understand that people are busy. They have their own lives. So don't pressure them. Don't get mad that they don't respond to you. People have their own lives. And when you pass this shit test with a girl, again, by just, calling her or texting her and saying, hey, I get that you're busy. That's fine. Just let me know when you're free, right? And not being needy or attached, that signals massive, massive value, and she will be way more attracted to you. The third reason that a woman will test a man is to see if he'll leave his purpose. And this is a pretty deep topic. And again, this typically only gets thrown out there in relationships, right? So one common example that I like to give is, say that you're in bed with your girlfriend and it's time to wake up for the day, right? And maybe you have to go to the gym, right? And she says, baby, don't go to the gym. I just want you to cuddle, whatever it is, right? And that's a shit test to basically see, can I sway this man from doing what is best for his health, right? And if she can, and if you say, okay, let's cuddle all day and I won't get anything fucking done, right? Then you're a fucking pussy and a chump and you failed the test. The best way to pass that test is to have sex with her right then and there and say, baby, I love you. I'm going to go hit the gym. I'm going to come back, do some work, and then we'll go out and do something fun tonight, right? Right now, I got to get shit done. I got to go work, right? And maybe she'll pout. If she does pout, then she's probably a low quality woman. A high quality woman would say, okay, but they would understand, right? They would understand. And they would get that you passed the test. So that's another way that women test men is by, doing little things to see if they'll leave their purpose and if they'll be swayed away from it easily. Now, the fourth reason that women might test men is a little bit more complicated, actually. It's probably the most complicated of the ways that I'm listing. And this is to see if you truly care. This oftentimes comes up in long-term relationships, right? This isn't something that you should be hearing if you're a newbie. But this will come up a lot of the time in long-term relationships. And it's where, maybe you've been dating for a year and she doesn't know if you really love her or not. And so she's going to test you and start fights and start arguments to see if you're willing to work it out with her and talk to her, right? If, again, I get that there's a lot of nuance, right? If it comes to a certain point where she just won't stop arguing, then she's probably toxic and it's time to ditch her. But if she's normally, a pretty reasonable person, but she starts bringing up a lot of this different shit and arguing with you and bringing up different things like that, it's probably because she wants you to engage with her and, join the argument, not by yelling at her and shit, but just, engage with her, talk to her, and try to figure out what's wrong, right? And again, this is more advanced. This only happens typically in longer term relationships, but that's one way, again, that women will test men, is they'll argue with them after they've been in a relationship with them for a long time to see if the man cares enough to try to resolve the argument. Now, as I said, there's a million different, ways that women test men, but fundamentally it comes down to one thing and one thing only, and that's they want to know who you truly are. They want to know if you're full of shit. They want to know if you're actually the man that you're acting like you are. And the best way to do that is to become a strong, dominant, masculine male. And if you don't know, I offer an ebook on how to do this called 7 Strategies to Develop Your Masculinity. I give you 7 specific ways that you can enhance your masculine energy and draw women into your life naturally. So with that in mind, guys, I hope that this video helped. If you liked it, then you can please subscribe. I would appreciate it. I release content pretty often, at least once a week, usually maybe 2 times a week. So please subscribe so that you don't miss it. And I hope this video changed your life, and I will see you guys next time.